Amendments 1 through 4, the Bill of Rights. You live in a country where writing or saying what you think is forbidden. Your government controls what you can watch on your TV, computer, tablet, smartphone, etc. Your government controls what stores you can shop at, what products can buy, how fast or slow your internet service is, when you receive power at your home, etc. Your government controls what stories you learn and how about in the news. And if you or even someone in your family were to disobey any of the laws, you could end up in prison. The Bill of Rights, those are some modern examples of why our founding fathers decided to add a Bill of Rights to the Constitution. While the Constitution outlines how our government is structured and how it is to operate, some, such as Samuel Adams and John Hancock, among others, felt that the Constitution didn't provide enough protection of our individual rights, freedoms, and liberties as U.S. citizens. In order to get the Constitution ratified, a compromise was made and the Bill of Rights was created. But for his many contributions in both creating and advocating for the Constitution, James Madison was given the nickname Father of the Constitution. After writing the Constitution, Madison would also later write the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, further commemorating his nickname Father of the Constitution into history. These 10 amendments would become known as the Bill of Rights. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abiding the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievance. What? That's Simon. Congress shall make no law representing an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abiding the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and the petition the government for a readiness of grievance. Freedom of rights. The First Amendment protects our rights to worship and the tradition of any religion we please, or if we so choose, no religion at all. The government of some nations decide on an official national religion. Its citizens are forced to follow. An example of one such nation would be Iran. Iran is an Asian nation located in the Middle East. Iran constitution states the official religion of Iran is Islam. This means that if you a citizen of the Iran, you must adopt Islam as your religion or else possibly suffer persecution or punishment. Such strict government policies are one of the reasons why tensions, tension between the U.S. and Iranian. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of a religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech, or if the press or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government of a readiness grievance. Freedom of speech. The First Amendment guarantees our right to freely express our thoughts, opinions, and ideas, not just by manner of speech, but also in other ways we may express ourselves. For example, in the artwork we create or the clothes we wear. As with all of our rights, there are exceptions to this. Forms of speech that aren't protected: obscenities, plagiarism, threats to others, defamation, false statements, or lies. Congress shall make no law respecting or establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, of abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for readiness of grievance. Freedom of press. The First Amendment also guarantees that the press, news outlets, media, and journalists has the right to publish factual information and that the U.S. government cannot impede or censor the information. This is the case of everywhere, as numerous countries have governments that exhibit strict control over what information is published by the news media. For example, the countries of China and North Korea, as well as some others, have state run medias. While might governments like those in China and New Korea exhibit such an authoritative control over the information, that news media's outlet broadcast. Congress state Congress shall make no, trying to make sure I can say it. Okay. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievance, freedom of protest. The First Amendment also grants us the freedom to assemble and petition. These are known as the freedom to protest. Freedom to assemble allow us to peacefully gather and voice our opinions and beliefs. For example, U.S. citizens, community exercise their freedom to assemble at political rallies or to protest certain activities of the government. Our freedom to petition grants us the right to formally complain and file grievance against our government without fear of being ratified against by the government itself for doing so. This was a main reason that the colonists who participated at the Boston Tea Party disguised themselves as Native Americans. They were protesting the Tea Act enacted by King George III and the British Parliament government. The colonists who participated in the protest knew if they were identified, they would be convicted of treason, which would be punishable by death. A well regulated militia being necessary to the Secretary of the Free State, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Remember the battles of Concord and Lexington. A well regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall be infringed. The Second Amendment grants us U.S. citizens the right to own and use arms, namely firearms. These amendments is one of the most controversial amendments and has been at the center of much debate over the past few years. No soldier shall in time of peace be granted in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. The Third Amendment affords U.S. citizens the right to privacy by forbidding soldiers from both entry and, and staying in someone's home. Remember, prior to the Revolutionary War, British soldiers were allowed by law to stay in the colonists' homes. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and siege shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue, but with upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons of things to be seized. The Fourth Amendment prohibits the government from conducting searches of the people and their property, as well as the seize of their property, unless there is a probable cause. What's probable cause? The right of the people to be secured in their persons, house, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or information, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Probable cause. Government authorities must have reasons to search someone's and or seize their property. Examples number two, the gloves and tools. Example one, the police had ample use by the suspect to steal the car. The reason to believe that the suspect were seized by police. The seizure of that stolen the wallet. So these items made it possible to use conduct a search of the suspect, then in a court of law to persecute and convict the suspect of the crime.